Hello everybody, my name is Unassuming Guy. Welcome to another episode of Slightly Drunk, Maybe More, show in which I play a game slightly drunk or maybe more. Today's game is Kerbal Space Program, a fun game about launching people into space. Um, yeah, I'm gonna jump right into it. Right now, the active mission is to I'm gonna try and return to Kerbin from orbit of the moon, which means I need to build a spaceship that will orbit the moon. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a new spaceship. Start with a command pod and a parachute. We start with the basics. Oh, parachute's essential, and I like to add, a drone chute, a drag chute, basically. And we want those to go at different times. So I'm going to set these stages down here. Next thing of importance is a heat shield. Protect us when we're re-entering the atmosphere. So this is what's going to land back on Kerbin. We're all finished. Add a decoupler. That means that'll detach this section from anything else that we put down here. Let's go ahead and start making the actual thing. I'm going to start thinking backwards. So we're just going to need a small tank and a very small engine. This guy. This is going to get us from the moon orbit back into Kerbin re-entry orbit, which is a very simple orbit. It doesn't take a lot of fuel, so that's why we don't need a big engine. Attach that. Okay. Next up will be the one to get us from Kerbin orbit into orbit around the moon. No, I think those can be the same engine, so I'm going to actually put this fuel tank in there. I think that'll make us both ways. I'm changed my mind again. Okay. This is going to get us out from Kerbal orbit. Ugh. This is going to get us out from the orbit of the moon into Kerbin. This will make a lot more sense once you see the images. Okay. So we're going to need another fuel tank to get us into orbit. I think that'll be this guy. We'll need another small engine. We don't need a lot of power. We need fuel efficiency. Just that. Alright, now so for the big ones, this would be getting us into orbit around Kerbin. So we're probably gonna need a pretty decent sized one. Oops, that's not right. I think this one will do. Add for engines. Swivel engine's a good one. Our stages. Alright, so this will get us into Kerbin orbit, I think. This will get us either finishing the orbit up and getting us to the moon. This is going to get us and into the orbit of the moon. This is going to get us out of the orbit of the moon into Kerbin. I think that's good. Go ahead and put a little bit of science. We'll put, which of these weigh? These don't weigh hardly anything, so we can put 2 on. Get one on each side. And then we'll go ahead and put a couple, oops, that's not what I meant. A couple of thermometers. Here. One there. There. And one there. This lets us take some science without having... It doesn't add a whole lot of weight. And weight's always the enemy here. As you can see, all this fuel up to from here to here, all this fuel and engines is just to get this there and back again. So we don't want to add on a lot if we don't have to. We're also going to add on we'll add winglets. Add some basic fins. We just need something to help with the aerodynamics of thing, and I'm going to put 3 just because it looks cool. We won't really need it once. This is for when we're in the atmosphere. Once we're out of that, we're not going to need them anymore. So, yeah. Think about this. think we're all set. Go ahead and put these guys on. This will just hold it up while we're launching. It's pretty. Make sure that has to be down here though. Doesn't work. Okay. Scroll through these. Don't need batteries. Ooh, we might need. Nah, I think we'll be good. Yeah, so we've got our pilot. Let's make sure. Yeah, okay, we got a pilot in this. We're gonna go ahead and launch and see how this goes. Hopefully not ending in a massive ball of fire. Okay, here we go. We're gonna engage our SAS. That just means it will stay pointed at the center. Well, I'm not really gonna explain how this game works. I guess it's very complicated. I highly recommend watching Scott Manley's Kerbal tutorials. He plays a lot and does a lot of cool things. So we're just gonna go ahead and lift off in 3, 2, 1. Lift off. Oh dear. Full throttle. Whew. Yeah, I probably should have set that at full throttle and not 2/3. That would have helped. So as you can see, oh, you know what? I forgot one thing. We're gonna go ahead and revert back to the vehicle assembly. I knew I forgot something. Dang it. We're actually gonna pick this whole guy up. Whoops. Let's do. I've done it now. Pick this up, move it upwards. Put another decoupler on. We're gonna stick big old fat solid stage. These are just, you light them and they go until they're empty. But they're really good for your very bottom stages. And they're pretty cheap too as far as it goes. So launch this, see how it goes. Solid stage would be like, it's basically a firework. You light it and there's no way to stop it or really control it. So that's what the fins kind of help, but you know, let's go. Launching in 3, 2, 1, lift off. There we go. You can see the giant ball of flame down there. You can get a picture of what she's seeing. She just sees instrument clusters. Really fancy. Yeah. Alright. It's all up. Looks good. This looks pretty centered. As long as it's right in that middle section. We're running out of fuel down here. About ready to switch to the next stage. I'm going to throttle up pretty far. And... oh. Okay, we're waiting for this to go up a ways. This is good. I'm going to throttle up, turn our G-forces up so we go a little faster. You can see we're gaining altitude. Sorry, this is our altimeter. This is our projected path in 35 seconds. So, things are going well. Except for the fuel, that doesn't look like a lot of fuel. We're at half fuel already on this tank. I thought it would last longer. I'm going to pull back a little bit. Helps it be more fuel efficient. We're getting out of the atmosphere. I'm going to go ahead and make a turn now. This isn't going to give us... come on. There you go. Okay, this is going to start giving us, you can see that's widening out. What we need is we need this to turn into a circle. That. Or an ellipse, I suppose. We're almost out of fuel in this main rocket. This is... okay. Oop, we ran out of fuel. Perfect timing. I'm going to go ahead and point this. I'm going to eject that off the end. Point this guy straight at the horizon. It's going to give us the maximum amount of outwards growth. We've already got this at almost 70,000. So this is going to spread it more wide than bring it up this direction. There we go, perfect. So once it's above about 70,000, I'm going to aim straight for the horizon on the gimbal here. And that'll give us our maximum boost. You can see this one's a lot more fuel efficient, but it's much more slow. It's just a little rocket. We are blasting off. I can go ahead and speed up time right now. That'll help us out. About halfway fuel. Doing good. Whoops, that was scary. Ooh, we're running low. I don't know if we're gonna have enough fuel for this mission. Guess we'll find out here soon. And okay, we are out of fuel on this stage. Go ahead and pop it. Now we're down to this little guy. Good news, physics is with us. If it's the smaller the mass, the less fuel it takes to move it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just full blast. You can see this expanding much more rapidly than it was before. That's because we just have less stuff to move. Perfect, we're in orbit now. Fortunately, we're down to 3/4 left of our total fuel, and we need that to get us all the way to there, around it, and back, which is not going to happen. So, what I'm going to do is check these, see if we can actually get any stuff from this. 2.3 science, I'll take it. I'll take whatever you can get. Gotta go ahead and observe all these. Temperatures, those aren't worth anything, so never mind. Take a crew report. So what happens is, straighten this up. If you've done this before, so I've been here before with these same instruments in the same spot, which is orbiting Kerbin. The more often you take the experiments, the less they're worth. So we're gonna have her EVA. Do a report. Someone's already done this, so let's go ahead and board back up. And we're going to send ourselves back down to Kerbin. Right, this is our retrograde icon. So we're gonna shoot our rockets this way, and the circle gets smaller. That's it. And once this touches the Earth or Kerbin, that's where our projected landing will be. Is right about there. So we're gonna go ahead and call that good. I'm just gonna go ahead and eject this right now. We don't need it. We're headed straight back down. We're just gonna accelerate time. And look at that. Okay. And let's see this as we fall down. You can see it only lets us go in ×4 speed because we're close to the body of whatever, you know, a planet or an object. It's dandy. It's a pretty view if we go from here and we look up. I mean, a pretty. Whoa, geez! Right, time's accelerated. I forgot about that. There we go. Looks very nice. You know, you can see Kerbin from here and whatnot, and the little instruments. This would not be fun. I think Scott Manley might do an episode where he flies. Oh, geez! I can see your eyeball. Oh, nice. Interesting. Huh. Anyways, I think he might do one where he uses the map and the ball in here instead of using, because I think you can use all these instrument clusters instead of using this view like you normally would. I believe you can do it all straight from here, and I'm sure that's really fun. And, well, not even sarcastic. I'm sure that's pretty intense and actually quite interesting, but I'm just not that good. Oh gosh. So we're falling towards the Earth, and I have forgotten to orient our stuff the right direction, which means it's gaining heat and we might explode. So I'm an idiot. Find the right direction. There we go. Ooh, there we go. Okay, we're headed towards. That was close. So we're headed towards this way. You can see the air coming off. I'm going to speed up time while I'm talking. The heat shield here. It's taking a little bit of damage. That's how it works. But if these are sitting outside of the heat shield, they start taking the heat, and they'll just overheat and explode and shoot off and all that good stuff. So this is ×1 speed right here. I mean, 2,200 meters per second. That's really fast. Coming in straight towards this. the friction with the air is causing this heat. This is times 4. As you can see, we come in, the atmosphere makes the stars go away because the sun is up right now, it's daytime. You can see our line gets shorter and shorter. That's because more and more drag is being put on us. And eventually we're going to land here in the daytime, in the mountains it seems. You can see there's just air. Going 500 meters per second, it slows down quite a bit. But this altimeter here is set to sea level, so that's something important. I'm going to go ahead and deploy my drag chute. That slows us down quite a bit, I believe to like 35 meters per second. 35 meters at sea level, so the air is thinner up here. Oh, deploy my chute. I forgot to do this in time last time. It takes a moment to deploy, as you can see. It's slowly filling up and it's going down. There we go. But I actually forgot to deploy it on time. I also should have jettisoned the shield. It's less weight to deal with, you know, and so your parachutes work more efficiently. Jeez. But yeah, so I forgot to deploy my main chute fast enough, and I hit the water. I was landing in the water and just exploded. He was gone. Right, and we're here. We're gonna go ahead and see if anything's science. She takes an EVA. Somebody's already been here, so we're gonna go ahead and just recover this vessel and go ahead and edit it again. We got a teeny tiny bit of science, not really worth anything. We got a little bit of funds back from the stuff that landed, because it cost money. We still had it. We can salvage it. More importantly, she has gained a level because she has done some flight time. We're gonna head to the vehicle assembly building, which I believe in real life they have a building like this that builds rockets. I think it's the tallest open floor structure in the world. It's massive. I mean, you could see just from like this in the game. These guys are all this tall, and it's probably not to scale. It goes up, you know, 10, 20 stories or whatever, clear up here. And it's all open. They just put it in here. It rides out on tracks up there to the launch pad. That's pretty awesome. If you live in Florida, I think it's in Florida, you have a chance to visit one of these things, go check it out. I'm sure it's not disappointing. Okay, so we're gonna add another stage. To do that, we're just gonna pop off our landing stage, or sorry, our solid stage booster. Put on another decoupler. We're just gonna stick on the exact same thing as this. Duplicate this, you know, in fact, that's easier. Duplicate this, pop it on the bottom. Bam. So now we've got this guy. We need to just make sure our things are set in order. Show up on here on the side. We don't want these together, because that doesn't make sense. Those to go same time. That one to go. Yeah. I'm gonna add this. Make sure it's out of the ground just in case. It can be glitchy sometimes. Let's go together. That guy goes with that guy. Awesome. So now it's just a super duper tall rocket. We probably have, you know, we probably have too much fuel at this point, but whatever. I don't want to not have enough fuel this time, so let's go for it. All right, here we are again. Let's just get into it. Launch. Oh gosh, it weighs so much that this rocket can't keep us off. So this is why you put the solid stage at the bottom. We have a ton of thrust. It's getting us off the ground. You know, it's giving us this extra 15 meters per second so far already. That's really helpful, considering that this rocket, or this whole thing, weighs a lot apparently. I've got my full throttle ready. We're almost out of fuel. I'm worried that this is not going to get us moving. May have added too much weight. We'll see though. But yeah, we've got this extra boost from the solid stage. Hopefully that's enough to keep us going. Oh, and we're above 1G. That means we are moving upward, which is great. If we're ever below 0 on this, it means we're headed down towards Earth, or Kerbin, which is not good. You can see we're very, very slowly accelerating, but as long as we're accelerating, it's fine. No worries, that was just the solid stage hitting the ground and exploding. Alright, we're starting to pick up speed. We're almost at 100 meters per second. We're not really getting much in the way of orbit, but that's okay. I used to be pretty good at this game, but it seems like lately I haven't played it in a long time and I'm losing my touch. But, oh well. I'll deal with it. Okay, we're about ready to switch. Alright, we've got our next one up. We've got a lot more G-forces because it's less weight. Less weight means more acceleration. Okay, I actually forgot this last time. We're gonna throttle this back so we don't go over 300 meters per second, because at that point, you're kind of just fighting the air and it's a waste of fuel. You can see I've throttled way down. We're still gaining. If this is steady, it means we're still moving at the same speed. We're not accelerating, but we're still accelerating, and it goes faster because we're burning fuel, which makes us accelerate faster, which is great. And you can see this getting up quite a ways. I'm going to go ahead and make a maneuver that's going to help us. There we go. Now we're going to get some widening of this. It's a big waste of fuel to go all the way up and then all the way sideways. You want to be aiming in a curve. Ah, that's a poor stranded person up there. I ran out of fuel. Didn't plan well enough. Someday we'll go rescue her. Alright, you can see we're almost out of the atmosphere. We're getting pretty close. I'm okay with it going that fast. I'm just not going to throttle it up, I think. You can see the altitude of this point is increasing and it's widening at the same time, which is great. That's what we want. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and speed us up a little bit. I'm going to go full throttle, actually. Until we run out of fuel with this stage. Right? Pop that stage off. Give us some distance. There we go. Alright, we're going to need to full blast this because I did not get enough altitude off that other one. Because this one has such a small thrust, it's great for, you know, widening the circle, but I need this to be high enough that we don't fall back in to orbit, or to suborbit, I guess. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. It's getting up there. We're at 3/4 fuel with this one. I'm still worried about this. I think I did the staging wrong. I really need to unlock fuel lines. It's hard to explain, but basically the line lets you pump fuel from one tank to another, and when you do it right, it really maximizes your fuel efficiency. I mean, it's a game changer, honestly, so maybe I'll look into that with my next science. Okay, now 70,000 is a magic number. We're going to head straight for the horizon down here. It's going to widen this circle to its maximum. We're almost completely in space, so I'm going to just full throttle. Oh, we are at full throttle. Yeah, so I'm going to pull up this, make sure we can see this. This is how much fuel we have left in this stage. I'll go ahead and accelerate this a little bit. Four times, and I'm going to go ahead and stop there. Oh, no, I'm just going to go ahead and spin the fuel. Alright, that's all the fuel in this stage. Gets us pretty far out there, so let's go ahead and pop that. But you can see once again, we're down to this little guy. You saw how much fuel we added, but we didn't actually add that much to this. That's because it's not as efficient as you can do. There's a lot better ways of doing it. I'm okay, but I'm not that good. So here we are. We're at a good solid orbit. but we only have half of fuel left, which is like, I want to say that's less fuel than I had last time. So you can see I actually added more fuel to the total thing, to all of our ship, but when I got up to orbit, I have the same amount, if not less fuel. And that's just a matter of maximizing your launch trajectory and just how you build it. I'm just not that good, so I'm gonna go ahead and just cut this and our fuel to bring that back down. We can land, and I'm gonna go ahead and burn it pretty dangerously close. The shorter this is, the more of a straight down it is, which is not great, but you know, we're just gonna go ahead and risk it. Pop that off and see where this takes us. Well, it's gonna take us right to the ground. That's what it's gonna do. So she looks like she's having fun. It's our our stage we just ejected there. And of course, we're coming in hot. We're actually speeding up at this point. Make sure that this is... No, we're going slower than last time. We're going 2,200 miles an hour last time. Compared to the surface. Or meters per second, not miles an hour. Meters per second, it's a lot faster. Huh, not bad. Yeah, go ahead and jettison the heat shield. There it went, back up there. Okay, we're coming in 3,000 feet, that's nice. Pop the chute at 1,000 feet. Oh gosh, that was a bad idea. Pop our other chute. We're really gonna need this. Oh, there we go. Wasn't as bad as I was worried about. Speed us up and wait till we land. Or splash down, I suppose. There we go. We'll cover the vessel. So let's see what happened this time. No science. Not surprising. Got some money from the stuff that landed. And she didn't actually get any experience because she's done that exact thing again. So that was a very depressing almost and uneventful round. Whatever you want to call this, but I think I'm going to call it good for now. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.